together on maps that are challenging, thought-provoking, and exciting across the board, and that's exactly what we're going to be dealing with right now. And it looks like we're actually just about to roll into it.
I just got in.
Perfect timing.
Alrighty.
How good is that? Yeah, but look, what I'm excited about is this is my first time casting Tux back in this game since the change. I did cast him in the other game, casted him before the other game, and now we're back here doing the thing. So very, very excited, Dion, but we are rolling in. It's going to be the grand finale, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Konkmodo bringing you IEM Dallas, the closed qualifier grand final, Order versus LFO, and we are straight into Overpass.
Yes, sir, indeed. I'm just checking that the audio and everything is all balanced. Of course, I just had to restart my game, and it looks like on my front end, we are Gucci. So let's get into this. Why don't we? It's Order. It's LFO. And we've already had some Overpass today. So we'll see what the kind of similarities are. We'll see what Order have planned. Of course, they were watching what was going on a little bit earlier on. And again, Mitch, CT side, someone has purchased dualies.
It's Valiance this time. Very cool. Sterling, dirty opening shot there. And from distance too. Spots Gyra all the way from the long bathrooms. Information now gathered. And there will be some form of control taken. Trades back and forth. Valiance does get nothing in the end, actually. There we go. Okay, eventually does go down. So it's a back into that 2-on-2. Site will be secured, but look how fast Order are actually up into the grill right now. They're going A with this bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to get the plant right now, as it is just going to be hazr with the bomb maneuvering up toward the site to get the plant. I have actually just discovered that my key for X-ray isn't working, so I may switch to our cameras just in a little bit to get that one there fixed up, but there is audio and everything, and it kind of makes things a little bit interesting to see how hazr's going to be playing this one directly from his POV.
There we go. Walking on forward, holding the line. Valiance goes for the swing, but I think hazr might be good for it. One more to find. He's hiding away, trying to dodge it, and he goes for the burst fire. Nicely done from hazr, ripping the head off of Vexite, and a strong opener here for LFO.
And indeed, just as I did mention that one, I am just going to quickly switch over to all our cameras. Hello, I just need to turn that one back on. It seems like it is, but not in the right one.
There we go. We've got it. Making it happen.
Indeed. I think we're good now. For some reason, no, apparently.
It's fine. It's working on my screen. It looks
there we
good.
go.
Jump on that caster camera.
We got
golden.
it. We're Gucci.
Force back in. Important time here for LFO to continue strong. Little bit of a boost inside connector. Difference being is obviously Order play a much different brand of Counter-Strike to Vertex. And that is a nasty little boost there. Gyra into position. I think they're actually somewhat aware of it. Whether or not they heard that little tickle onto the toe of Gyra.
Oh, well,
they definitely switched on to the position.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be hard clearing it. Yep, in toward the feet.
Is that?
Don't forget, this is a force up.
Yeah, must have heard maybe something to give it away, but irrespective, very, very good start. Vexite tanks the nade, but at top of connector, he's still got so many members around. Sterling's going to rip his head off with that AK. And now it's back to that 3-on-5, but 2-on-5.
Yeah, looking to be a pretty clean one so far for LFO on this round. Valiance, Tux, both in the A site at the moment. We'll see what Val's going to be able to do with the scout, but it does look like Tux is moving forward. Meanwhile, LFO transitioning to the B site, and as Sterling finds one, it's going to be info on towards Valiance on the side as well. He has shot one bullet out of the scout, so it is known of where he is. And for LFO, I mean, you don't want to see them be dropping any players from here on out, so we'll see how far they are going for the hunt. Sterling is currently the low player at the tree with the scout. That's a nice shot from Val. So that's an upgrade onto the only AK that LFO purchased. Yeah.
Will you be able to take it into the next round, though? That'll be the question. The answer is no, because APOC is feeling it. And from what we can see very early on in this series, Dion, LFO are looking super confident, right? Taking that momentum off the previous map win, they've surely got to be hyped up because of it. They did get a cheeky hour break. But of course, you know, Order coming in with fresh legs. They did get that dub yesterday. It was a 2-1 victory over LFO to find and book their ticket into the grand final. So giving themselves that extra rest, LFO. Not exactly a, stranger, though, to the lower bracket run. They've been doing it for a little while. Only in the last maybe 6 to 12 months have they been the upper bracket team. But this time, look, again, Order looking strong. Great start. But still a little bit of time ahead of us. Walking into main, hearing the audio cue. There will be hazr. Is he going to be able to get a clear up? No, not quite. They actually do choose to fall away.
There's going to be a bomb plant for LFO, so they'll be happy as rain with this one. Of course, yeah, you can send APOC on his merry way for a little bit of a duel if he wants. With that submachine gun, gain that money. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing at the moment. Spotting a lot of heads, though. And hearing a lot of footsteps. He needs to be real careful. He gets at least 2, which he does. 3 even. And he will be okay with that one. So some extra money. Gyro Tux, I mean, pretty much just sacrifice your lives here to bomb explosion or for an exit if you can try and find one. But Savage probably isn't going to let you do that. Unfortunately, a dink for the troubles for Gyro, but that is it. 3-0, a good start for the T side on LFO's. Not choosing, actually, as they picked this map. So now let's see what Order have on their CT side.
So just to give everyone a little bit of an update on the series from yesterday as well, was of course watching, and it was 16-13 on Nuke. LFO, that was their selection. That's obviously been banned out in this series. Vertigo picked up by Order, which was 16-11 in their way, and then 16-8 on Dust 2. So Order were looking very, very hot to trot on that one. Dust 2 is an interesting one. We do get to see big things from LFO. Obviously Sterling, very well equipped. APOC also does big things. His whole bedroom lurk. So it's been a exciting little run, and just cool to see that again we've got effectively 5 different maps being played between these two teams in one competition alone. So very good to see.
2 days of play.
Yeah, 2 days of play, exactly. But it is that first full buy for Order, so time will now tell if they've got it in them. Good late need to come over. But of course, this is the buy that doesn't have exactly what they need. However, of course, as we know, with Tux moving into this roster position, he picks up Valiance's old role, and Valiance picks up the AWP.
Well, we'll see what the AWP is going to be able to do with Valiance right now. A little bit of a delayed shot on the attempt to find hazr, as APOC has been taken down to 27 HP elsewhere. The bomb is, retrievable for LFO, but they need to make sure they go and get it before getting in towards this site of B at the moment. Ustillo on the headshot line, going to be protecting his noggin for the current timing, as LFO do start to set up a couple of these smokes to go in toward the site, the flashbangs as well, and that's going to be the entry for the team.
So smoke goes down to isolate some space here for Ustillo. Tux also not too far away. Gyra actually has a molly still in hand as well. So inside this smoke, it's going to be a scary one, but that's an excellent flash straight through. However, Ustillo does actually manage to find one. Tux good for another 2, and there's Gyra to pick up the remaining slack. He's got 2, he's dropped the bomb, and it's all onto APOC in a 1 versus 4. I don't think there's anything really he can do here. The only thing he probably does want to do is maybe find one more and go down before the time. Will be found by Vexite. Great lurk, great hold, great timing. And ultimately, it's the opening fire round here to come through for Order.
And that's exactly what you want to see for them as well, in the interest of having a nice, great competitive game. Getting the first round on the board with your purchase, surviving with 4 as well. And then Ustillo is just going to be requesting a drop. So as happy as Larry are Order, but for LFO, they're going to get their proper purchase coming through as well. Sterling on the boomstick, so we'll see the battle of the big greens, what's going to happen here, and all of the utilities. So this is really where these teams have to show their might and show, what they've got to try and find this grand final, get to that spot at Dallas, and then continue on. HE grenade not going to really do anything at the moment. Just reveal a little bit of information for Order, and Tux is taking the initiative here, pushing through short water, finding APOC, and escaping.
Yeah, happy to be out of there. Nicely done from Tux, the old mid-round cheeky walk. And a smoke to go down. Oh, Sterling, what a wallbang. Was just through the corner of the box there. Must have spotted out a toe or thrown a little bit of a guesstimate out there. Now Ustillo, unfortunately, has lost his buddy. But Gyra still playing around towards the graffiti position. Jump spotting over, does get some info. What does he want to do with that HE? He bounces off. Nicely done from Gyra. A good response, a good recovery. And now Ustillo also wants to go down, walk about a little bit. Flashes go out to check Monster. Nobody home. So still looking decent here for Order in the 1-man advantage.
And you're going to have a little bit of a simmer down for LFO at the moment because they are all so separated at the moment. 2 smokes to throw over toward the side of B, but all the time being bought, you still will be using this incendiary more as a boost denial over to the site and also some information. If there's a tick of flames on towards LFO, it's pretty much solidified that things are going to be ending at B, and with this util happening, they now know.
I do know indeed. Running straight out through the monster position, still locked in here nicely. Still low. Let's get spotted out, but Savage a little bit unfortunate there. Does eventually connect with the shot, but it's not before Vexite will find one of his own. Now he's looking to clear around into water as well, but Savage already up close. Where's Valiance?
Up in heaven.
Down heaven now. Sterling onto that line. Valiance playing a little bit deeper. Gotta be patient.
Ooh, it's risky, isn't
Savage underneath heaven. Yeah, look, if they go for this boost, that's actually huge. Sterling.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
They're going for it. No.
Okay.
Swapped over. Not going to be happening this time around. It is going to be the line held by Savage, though, and they reposition accordingly. LFO walk away with 4, and that was a dominant hold there from the T's.
Big balls of steel, though, from Sterling, just to disregard any potential of a player being up in heaven as well. But I think now, just dwelling upon it, it must have been Savage saying that there's rotating down from heaven. And that's why Sterling's no longer looking at that line, just making sure that there's no boost coming out for the sneaky AWP there, and then getting the trade when Savage gets their first one. So some nice teamwork coming out from LFO, if that is the case, if I'm reading that correctly, because I presume. But for right now, Order, they're going to be back on towards these pistols. Ustilo's picked himself up some Kevlar in case they're able to steal away a weapon. And it's going to be pistols for the remainder of the squad, a smoke and a flash as well. But the patience to start off from LFO. You don't want to leave any stone unturned at the moment. Check every corner. Because you know Order are definitely a team that'll be punishing you. We saw that Vertex's pistols were quite potent, and now we're going to see what Orders are going to be able to do. Already a dink onto hazr, and missing the ladder is his demise. That's
bomb. No, not quite. Yeah. Tempting fate there. Pretty lucky, I would say. Valiance is walking away with that AK, though, which is a huge result for him. Vexite, Kevlar, locked in. Very winnable round here still for Order, but a lot of extra work that they've got to do. 59 seconds left on the clock. Tux looking for something. Spots out Sterling. That's exactly not a fight that I'd want to be taking either. Be careful, gentlemen. Sterling is quite clean with it.
Licky
looking to spot out Vexite. No, I don't think anyone's actually cleared this at all.
No, it's
Nicky's
dirty
been
position.
allowed to walk up. Yeah, correct. But I don't think he's going to be too worried. Does hear the scope in towards Party, and he's actually going to reposition as a result of it now. Walking to the other side of the bathroom. Savage in a very, very good spot, but no utility being cocked there. That's huge. Oh! Sterling quick on the sticks. Does find one. Valiance, though, able to get the trade. Is it going to be good enough? Castillo spotted out by Licky, but Licky in his positioning. Sterling take a bow. What a turn of events. Sterling so sharp and fast with it. That could have gone anywhere else.
Must have been the sound cue that he heard immediately. The footstep on the peek out, and then the quick flick saving APOC as well. And in the meantime, APOC on 2 HP does manage to find a frag onto the player down connector, then gets traded, and Sterling finishes off. So great little patience play coming out from LFO, as it does indeed force a tactical timeout out from Order at the moment. They're going to be able to get their purchase up. Valiance can still get out the AWP with the util change as well. So it will be the proper purchase to come through from Order. But this is definitely the time that they need to start to convert, because if you're allowing LFO, and I say allowing very loosely with air quotes, if you're allowing LFO to really take a commanding lead on this T side, it doesn't really bode well.
So having a bit of time, bit of a pause for thought. To see if anything will be changing for the Order side. Of course, still anyone's game, very, very early days in this map. But you've got to be on the ball if you're Order, you know, coming into this grand final. We've seen it happen to them in the past, you know, they lose, or they have a big win in the upper bracket.
Yeah.
And then, you know, failed in the grand final. So
it happens.
It does. Happens to the best of us.
That's a nice flash out. Vexite to spot some info and buy some time with the smoke. Didn't realize that Savage was already pushed in through the bathroom. So they're going to find one, bow out. Unsure if they did hear the scope of Valiance's AWP. I think he was out without an... out of the earshot range. Now they know. And Savage is going to go for the challenge and ultimately lose it. So the 4 versus 4. Single smoke now for LFO to be able to utilize to get back in towards one of these sites. So it's going to be on some nice Molotov timing, some nice flashbang timing, and then just going in and ensuring that there's trades. Because if you're going into the B site at the moment, Ustillo and Tux, they've been waiting for action.
Flash over. Ustillo very much going to be blinded for that. The counter flash comes through, but it's not going to matter. Jarrett does manage to at least fell one on the defense. Exactly right, though. Bomb has been dropped. Jarrett does bits, and Valiance gets the trade accordingly. One-on-one now. APOC has been looking very, very good so far today. And now where does he go? How does he approach it? Which line is he going to be taking? Swings off the shot and plays with fire. Does allow himself some safe passage towards the short water line. Now the molly also available. This is going to be such a tough one for Valiance. Does have the smoke, but where's the kit? Is there one around? Yes, there is, just to his right. He'll have to go and collect it on the way through. Has the call been made? Not quite. Smoke down on towards that bomb. He'll have to tap. Just wondering if there was that communication actually coming through earlier. Gets the info, gets the peek off. It's not going to matter. No kit required as APOC locks it down.
Very intimidating challenge is the word I'm going to use here as well. You've got a little tag on towards Valiance there as well. You know that he's got that AWP. A smoke on toward the bomb. Many a thing running through your head. Is he faking it? Is he holding it? We, of course, from our armchair position, know that there's no kid. Know that he's going in for the fight. And for APOC, getting out a couple of shots. I thought he was going to, you know, kind of hide and not take the fight for anymore. But he stares it right down and is able to find it. And an opening frag going the way of Sterling as well certainly does set LFO up for success. They don't need to rely on the utility here. They know that it's the lesser weaponry for order. And APOC, I mean, well, he's already in the B site.
Yeah, geez. Very, very sharp. Very, very quick. Unfortunately for Valiance, will be left all on his lonesome. I've got to admit, this is looking like a little bit of a lackluster order right now. LFO are just all up in their grill. Very, very confident and throwing hands, basically, I guess you could say.
This was one of the kind of topics that got revitalized in one of the other leases going on at the moment as well. It's if you're coming into a grand final having already played a series, are you better equipped and better warm than the team that you're going to be going up against? For right now, I mean, LFO ended on Overpass. They're starting on Overpass, similar territories, and they're just looking real hot.
Well, they're hyped up. You know, they had such a big win. It was off the back of some really solid individual performances. Valiant smollied off, won't be able to go for his connector pick, and now Licky walking up, looking to take short control. Maybe even walking through Gyra. Good initiative to try and take down Long. Savage, though, looks like he's aware of it. Does get taken down, and Gyra, again, continues to punish. Sterling back on that line. Does actually get tagged up, and he's very, very low. Legs up Gyra. A little bit of a couple of warning shots there.
Oh, but what do you choose to do now if you are LFO? Gyra and Tux quite low. The silence before the storm in toward the B site. And Ustillo behind the pillar is going to be good for one, but that might just be enough with APOC being taken down relatively low. Sterling on 2 HP as well, within an inch of his life. 2 CTs surrounding the bomb site. Lots of time to play with if you are LFO, but the challenge is certainly going to be coming in. Licky's now low as well, and this is crumbling a little bit for LFO. Vexite on the bridge can finalize the round, and it's Order finally getting their second.
Very, very good. Very well needed as well. Desperately. It's a long way to go still. Got to be careful. If, you know, LFO continue this charge and continue the dominance that they've actually managed to throw out at the start, got to be a little bit worried for Order into the next half. But at least getting back, you know, they can start to sort of stabilize their economy a little bit if they get some consistency into these next few.
Yeah, it's just the formalities again at the moment for LFO. Ground control gathering seemingly over towards the B site primarily at the moment. Tux has to be real careful jumping up, but he's spotted out the information, and that's a tell to the teammates to be prepared for a potential short push right now. You got the AWP primed, locked and loaded, flash over, and Gyra's going to get completely blinded. He chooses not to reveal himself just yet in the net of the frag as well. It's Tux, and it's Tux again with 3. Now it's just down to Sterling to see what he can do. Gyra did manage to find one in that mix, but It was really Tuck's spray down that locks down the fort. And in a 1v4, how do you approach this one? You don't. Tuck's with a 4K to close.
Gets it done. The big man himself back on campus. The, oldest / newest addition to the roster. Kind of crazy to think about, right? One of the most experienced players inside this server right now next to APOC. One of the old heads of the region. Do you still owe as well, of course. Lots and lots of experience inside this server right now with plenty of international runs on the board. And again, they're looking for more. Order finally started to get their way back into this, forcing LFO into a more difficult economic situation is what I was going for. Iconic moment for me.
Well, Licky finding one on the trades here is okay. It's within reason, or reasonable, rather, close to a round that Order will be okay with. Player advantage by 2. And Savage really disconnected from Licky at the moment. Don't forget the bombs left in spawn. So pretty easy collections right now for Order. Pad them stats, get them kills, get hyped in the comms. Licky, no Kevlar. See what he can do with this AK-47 if you can remove another player. That's an AWP off the board if it was Vexite. I mean, I say that. Gyro's there to pick it up, but would you take the AWP over the AK? You know he loves an AK.
I've just got to touch on, right? Licky, he just wants to do some damage right here. But Gyra, what an electric start the in-game leader has had right now. 13-7, looking so confident. Just getting frags left, right, and center. A lot of saving graces for his team as well. But Order finally really starting to activate. Shaking off the cobwebs, 30 seconds left. No bomb, no control. And guess who's going to be walking straight in? It is the Lobster himself. As Ustillo does close out a frag onto Licky. So 4 here, 4 alive, lots of money. AK recovered. And only 3 rounds now, the difference. So here we go. Order definitely forcing themselves back into this series. And there will be a cheeky little timeout on the side of LFO. Good time to do so.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering as well. We're touching upon it in the last instance that we did see. Overpass 5 is your T side around that you're okay with. Order, trying to chase still right now to get 8 at the half and make it an 8-7. LFO still absolutely chuffed that they have found 7, but I almost feel like if this one goes 8-7, it's just a shaky start for Order because LFO weren't able to establish anything back on the T side with a couple of purchases, so it's definitely more confidence for Order going into the second half. They're done with their CT side kind of lockdown. Now they need to put their full emphasis on the T side and try to do it again. So for Order, I think they need to try and get towards 8, and if they don't, they have to have a really good start like LFO did on the T side.
Definitely. But at least it's showing good signs, right? LFO were definitely outboxing and making Order look real cautious. But then again, that's the thing, right? You can never sell a series super early. It is a best of 3 for a reason. And, Order obviously found themselves into the grand final for a really solid reason as well.
Yep.
Managed to get themselves through a couple series into the Grandy. And, they just want that under the other international run on the board. They had ESL Challenger earlier this year. Didn't quite get a chance to show what they've got. I definitely think now with the current roster, they can do more. But Vexite, he's been sent back. Really awkward now. Has to get back to the site. Gets to truck. But now he has to hold an awkward line. Super close. Gets the leg. And there we go. Finds one. Make it a second. Will it be a third? It absolutely will. Looking dominant. The leg shot. But he will finish. No, not quite. That was almost a moment. But still nasty shots there from Vexite. The double V. Sterling. And a 1 versus 4. Can't quite close it out. But my God. Loving this.
Yeah,
it was Valiance and Vexite in the previous series as well that were dominant. But yeah, look, 2 Vs next to each other, that's a dub.
Mate, if he got that last one on Sterling and it wasn't a leg, oh, chef's kiss. That would have been a glorious play. Just quick snaps, quick aim, absolutely sharp and prime, locked and loaded, ready to take Order to victory. But again, you know, it is a round for the CTs and LFO. Can't count them out. A half by here. We'll see what they're going to be able to do. Have to put a smoke down onto the flames. Not going to be protruding out of them just yet. It's some short water control for Order, who want to really get up in LFO's business. They've gotten a lot of this control already in the round, and Vexite has started off onto hazr.
Straight out of Monster, Gyra. Seeing the giveaway's position, does now, dinked up in the process. Ustillo holding the cross, but Tux is also there holding his hand. Now it's Sterling and Savage into a 1-on-5. 2-on-5, now down to 0. And Order, they have won 5 rounds back to back to back, pushing forward. And finally, sort of getting that space back in this series, 6-7. An explosive start. Exactly what you need between these two teams. If this one wasn't close, if this one wasn't hotly contested, you'd be a little bit worried, especially after the level of competition that we've had through these last 2 days.
No, 100%. And this is, you know, the pinnacle of it right now. The two teams that have slugged their way, I guess you would say, a little bit less than the rest, as they were the invited teams, but invited for a reason. They were able to still battle it in and get to the grand final. Sterling starting off onto Ustillo, and that's a bit ambitious from APOC to push in through when they see the smoke coming from above. Tux is going to be able to get away with this one. Now he does have his teammates there to bail him out even more so and stop LFO in their track. So it is the 1-on-1 at the moment, and this is a cheeky time to get the boost. Is Ustillo going to wrap around and try to get the flames? No, he's dead. He was the one that threw the molly here last time. The flash in, as you mentioned it, and Gyro, does he push forward? Does he push forward? Oh, they heard the drop.
Yep, heard the footsteps. Do they know it's both? They're going for another boost again. Are they going to be ready for it, though? Spotting over, nothing at the sandbags. They get the info now. It's gathered. Minute left on the clock. All 4 members of LFO are poised to try and attack on towards this B site. But obviously, after that earlier exchange, have repositioned accordingly. 3 members of Order down here, ready to rock and roll. And it's a counter boost of the boost off. Vexite does manage to actually pick up one onto Savage. Advantage now goes the way of Order.
hazr is starting to push up toward the A side as well, and you've got Valiance just on a tight line with the AWP at the truck, swiveling between 2 locations. Nice timed flashbang from LFO. Might be able to push him off his perch and see what he can do. There is that flash, but can he do what Vexite did from this same location as before? He doesn't necessarily need to. Mitch's Gyro is here to hold it down. In the 1 versus 3 now for Sterling. 10 seconds to get the bomb plant down. He gets the shot out, but 9 HP. Vexite, Tux, surely he'll be able to close this one and tie it up.
Yeah, you'd hope so. He's got the AWP though, so it's certainly the weapon to make things happen, but in an awkward spot. Very, very tight. Has the slight gap on the smoke here, but Tux is positioning, moving up the flank now. If he can isolate these picks and try and break the little position. Does spot out one. Here's the scope though, and that should be round done yet.
Yep.
Unlucky. Good try from Sterling. Did well to find the plan. A nasty shot onto Valiance, who hasn't really yet had the chance to fully activate on the AWP. But again, you know, when Gyro has been doing as much as he is right now, I wonder if Mama Gyro is watching along. Proud as punch. I know got a few mums that'll be watching this one. Big shouts to them. 7-7 is the scoreline. All tied up here in this series. Wondering who will be the one to take the 8th. Ultimately leaving themselves in the lead. If it's Order, that will be 7 in a row.
Yeah. Again, you know, you look at the scoreboard from a glance and you're still like, all right, great half for LFO. They got these pretty much unanswered. Order has made the comeback. So for Order to try and chase for this 8th right now, it'll be really well placed, but then they have to, you know, kind of reset themselves going over to that T side again. I like LFO's patience here, letting Order come toward them. The only problem with that is they have absolutely no control of their own. They haven't even gotten out to challenge Fountain, clear out towards party. You've lost hazr in connector, unanswered as he was playing, you know, by himself. As LFO are doing the 3-1-1 at the moment. And this is kind of a rite of passage for LFO in through towards the middle of the map, but they're not expecting a push from Vexite down long at this current time. He's tapped Savage out.
Yeah, he's sharp. Gets a very nasty shot to close out his positioning. Gyro now going walkabout as well.
I'm wondering if he saw him with the light flicker
yeah, I don't think so. But he was ready for Sterling, so that's all that really matters right now. You know, Licky, he's gotten all the way up towards the site, but Vexite is there. He is absolutely ready for it. Experience for APOC. I don't think this is going to last him in the round as Gyra goes for the swing, and he will just continue to add to his scoreline, 19-9, but we'll be taking a very short break, and we'll see you back for the second half. It was LFO very much bull out of the gates there, but ultimately it was Order to come back. 7 in a row. They have absolutely been swinging. Everyone's activated. Gyra at the top of the scoreboard, and it is shaping up to be a beautiful little series that we've got on our hands right now. Konkmoto bringing it to you. Dion, what are we thinking in this next half?
I'm thinking that we need to see some sort of resilience immediately from LFO here. They were a little bit stale leading into the later stages of their T side, and Order, they absolutely stepped on up to close out their CT side and reclaim the lead from a 7-1 deficit. So this pistol is quite important for LFO, a little bit more so than Order, I would say, but of course the importance on a pistol is always going to be there. Order steamrolling out towards a little bit of a waterfall wrap in the reverse status, up the connector through towards A, and now the challenge is going to be here.
Yep, they're looking for it right now, and they're all turning away. Sterling, no, he's missed a couple of warning shots, but in the end does connect onto Valiance. Gyra there on the flank, up to 20 now, taking that long position, but it is a little bit awkward. Tux rather low, rotation is up, bomb is recoverable, but Tux is going to rip off the head of Licky instead. Another one also found APOC there, but Gyra felled, and now it's all on Ustilo. Low, 1 versus 2, does have the bomb, and he can boogie it down to B if he would like.
Oh, a little bit of a boogie. What music have we got on, you reckon?
Mate, it's all jazz in a game like this. Savage spotted. So maybe it's getting a little bit more mellow, a little bit more somber.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of tap here because he can tap away on this one. Pitter patter in toward the side of B. See what he can do. Tap away Savage. And he's got the one-on-one towards hazr, but that bomb plant, 30 seconds. Will he be trying to afford himself some extra time to play with?
They've gambled it. And it's going to pay off. hazr up in heaven, ready to rock for it. So unfortunately for you, Stilo can't quite throw it all together. And that is LFO getting out of jail free, I guess you could say. Finally finding another round. Their pistols have been electric. And, you know, they've got a lot of reward for pulling away with them as well. You know, we saw that in the previous series against Vertex. I almost sort of have a little bit of a feeling that if LFO didn't win a couple of those pistols, it might have had a differing result. Not on Ancient so much, but definitely on Overpass.
So with no bomb plant, Order are choosing to withhold all of their funds and try to get a little bit of interest on them toward the next rounds. Again, following each other as a unit, just with these Glocks. See if they can get a kill or two. And they've kind of just found the path of least resistance, haven't they? No challenge just yet from LFO. It's finally going to be hazr overstepping his bounds as the spray is good for 2. Trade will be there. And now the T's have an M4 to play with.
That is pretty spicy, but probably not spicy enough. They've somehow managed to plant, which is pretty phenomenal. Getting back, Ustilo trying to hunt for something. APOC should be able to clear him. Does get dinked in the process, so definitely dicey.
Oh, the burst again.
Could be huge here, but the burst doesn't quite connect. So, look, Order have got to be absolutely chuffed with that. They get one frag, they get the bomb planted. Yeah. Certainly a good run. So they're going to have some serious cash moving into the next round. So LFO take the lead back, but how long for? That'll be the question.
Nah, certainly so. You know, I might mention it too again. LFO had a good start to the first half, and then it fell off. They're starting to have a good start here, but will it fall off? And I think this is going to be one of those rounds where you have to add a little bit of salt toward it, a little grain of salt specifically, because LFO still do have a little bit of this lesser weaponry and those MP9s and the UMP there. So Order with all the AKs and all the utilities should be the ones kind of steering the narrative, steering the ship in toward this round, and for LFO to try and make it a little bit of bumpy waters, but we definitely will have to wait and see in that regard what their utility usage is going to be looking like. They're kind of spread around the map at the moment with a bit of a challenge from you, Sterling, in the connector. Short water control not really being contested too much by LFO, leaving free reign for Tux to trying to get in front of this util and find the opening pick, but Savage is going to deny that one. Big opening pick for LFO.
Yeah, definitely. Tux looked pretty confident on that one, but it was the off angle held by Savage, which was beautiful. So a bit of a jump across, bit of a spot. Gyra, he's been good, but not good enough in this round as Vexite does get one more, but Savage with the dunk back. Bomb dropped, team split, Order looking a little bit kind of spread out in this one. You know, not super synergized, everyone kind of dying one by one.
I think it's a bit unfortunate on that later one there with the grenade happening as well, because it was a frag. It was just some nice timing of the grenade thrown out by Savage, and it took him a little bit to realize he actually got the kill. Then he repositioned himself on the side as well. So again, as you mentioned it, you know, it's kind of Order having their toes dipped in a few too many different waters at the moment. Valiance and Ustilo eventually are going to group up, but one foot's in the hot water, one foot's in the cold water for the rest of the teammates, and it doesn't really work out well.
So they have at least managed to regroup. LFO's money is still looking solid, so very important for Order to try and find as many frags as possible. Definitely a solid duo in Valiance and Ustilo, but 20 seconds, you know, certainly not much to kind of play with, and I think they're just going to save.
I don't mind it.
It looks like, unless...
Smoke's out.
Oh,
Molly
I don't
out.
know about this at all. They're going really late, really close.
They mollied the plant
Molly's
spot.
gonna make it hard. Yeah, it's going to be really tough, and there we go. That's the round done for sure.
Oh, he's got a plant.
Inside the smoke, they get the plant, but yeah, Jesus, that was scrappy. It was almost like it was a bit too late of a decision.
Yeah, I wonder what the sort of thought process is there to go in with the guns and everything, use the util, get the execute, get the plant. But if you get the plant, how are you going to escape if you've got, you know, minimum 2 players on the site? Well, we've just seen the answer, right? You don't. I think that molly as well wasn't meant to land at the top of site. I might be wrong, you know. If their objective was to just get a plant, to push them over the edge to get another purchase in this round, then sure, well done. But you lost the round, unfortunate. LFO find 10, and you're coming into this next round with a little bit of lesser utility on a couple of players. No AWP, of course. You got a Galil there for Vexite. We'll see what the change of plan is for this round. And Valiance has okay. Just a how do you do?
A little g'day and then out of there. Just a passing hello in the street. Tux tagged up. Does get out though. So this, you know, relatively low bound purchase. Obviously Vexite dropping to the Galil, having to pick up the full belt of utility where he can. Molly down towards Divider. That'll give him some space, but it's only hazr. It appears, Sterling rather, walking back in. hazr back on the site. Sterling obviously has had a very, very nice run to start here on Overpass too. You know, just like I did in the previous series, we always touch on that dynamic duo in Sterling and hazr. Now Sterling always in an island, rocking a hard play, still alive. Still very much alive, repositioning now, but it will be Ustilo with that race car peak to find him now. 4 versus 3. Rotation up from APOC, site secured. But Valiance has actually been very, very patient here, not jumping up just yet. Let's get the plant down now. So, still a tough one here. LFO might even question whether or not they want to go for this.
Oh, that's a big nade onto Tux, and the spray from Licky is going to be able to get him as well. There's no smoke to put on the bomb from LFO, but if they're winning out these fights right now, it doesn't really need one. The POC is here, and he is activated with Ustilo not being near the site whatsoever. Guessing that there might be a flank potential. The flash is high. It's going to force him off the line. His flash has to do everything. He's heard the tap on toward the defuse. He needs to take the fight. The challenge is good on towards APOC, and he's still looking to hold it down. He might actually win this one. No. Licky will get the trade, and the defuse is there.
Kits were there as well, making it easier for LFO, who have been dominant in this half so far, not losing a single round. That will be 4 consecutive now. And Order yet to really show us something kind of convincing. You know, that round was nice. Like, they had a really solid start, but then somehow, back up against the wall, LFO were allowed entry back in towards the site and a 3v4 retake, which is something that should be pretty much unheard of in a site position like that. There was not much utility being sent out. It was nothing kind of over the top. It just looked like Order weren't ready for it at all. They just kind of, you know, let them move straight in, and ultimately APOC went huge, and that's how the round has been done. So, T timeout, called by Order, of course. Definitely a good time to have a conversation about what's been happening in this half so far.
Yeah, well, everybody's got another purchase to go through with in this round. So, you know, Order are at least affording themselves a couple of purchases here and there to go for the challenge against LFO. But this is the current point in time, Mitch, where if LFO win this one, yes, the money is there on the lost bonus for Order, but it's that big reset time. It's for LFO to guarantee a couple more rounds, get closer towards that map victory, and then move over onto Vertigo a little bit later on as the second map in the series. What's the spread out looking like for Order in this round currently? The 3-1-1 posing for the long party fountain side with the 3, 1 in connector and 1 outside your monster. See what Tux is going to be doing there with that Galil as well. Not too much utility for Order in the damaging variety. Just 2 mollies there, the rest assistive. And for LFO, Mitch, this is an interesting set, right? 4 players to be, and just hazr playing over the wards long.
Well, hazr's in a very one and done position as well. And it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. All the control going down for LFO. They have got some sort of read here, which is huge.
Yeah, that smoke thrown toward the top of bathrooms as well. The progression one thrown from B. So for LFO, not rotating until really now. After not seeing anything, it might actually be there undoing. But never mind, Sterling. That's a beautiful vertical flick. And now the hit is coming to B.
Yep. And it'll be a 4-on-4. Has already found his position in towards mid. And APOC has also dropped the bomb. Now Tux trying to find his way out. Savage still just near barrels. Does get tagged up. Hazard down very, very low. Vexite will be able to afford himself with the trade. But again, still needing to recover that bomb. Tux will be out in a position where he might be able to find something. It was a great shot there from APOC. Still slowing the time, trying to find as much as they can, looking to trade off of each other. Vexite will be looking for 1. Tux, though, gets it in the end. Now all on the Vexite in a 1 versus 3. Savage to hold. And the young Starlet will be sitting back on top in this round. 12 now for LFO. And Order are just in a position where it's been force after force after force. No real change in pace at all. Again, it's a great read from LFO in the sense that they were able to position themselves very, very fast, quickly. But at the same time, there's, again, nothing super overwhelming has come out from Order on this T side at all just yet.
Regardless of read or not in that round for LFO, it's just the patience and the solidarity in your teamwork to just sit on the B site and wait. You know, Order have to come to you. If they go over towards A, you can play retake up through the maze with 4, and you've got Hazard's late lurk or early lurk coming in through long. So regardless, they had the nice little setup to do whatever they want, and they just bolster down on B. Don't let Order in. Get the frags where required. Really nice play. And now, you know, this should by all means be guaranteed 13th round on the board for LFO, given by the fact that Order just have these little lesser pistols, but they've bought enough utility to try and get a full execute, and LFO are playing back. They're not letting the close quarters action be really utilized by these pistols.
Yeah, great flashes over the top. It's going to force them very much back. And Savage, inside this position of water, has been overlooked so far. APOC tagged up. Ustillo will be able to find him. Good need to come out, but there's a reposition off the back of it as well. And Hazard's found 1 more. Savage trying to get up close and personal. Will be close. And he's quick on the sticks today. Very, very sharp from Savage. They'll spray transfer from Tux to Gyra. And ultimately, that is another round going the way for Order. LFO have just been decimating. And yeah, again, another round where Order, obviously just to save this time, they've finally sort of gone, all right, no more forcing. Let's try and change it up, get the plant, and they can reaggress into this next round accordingly. But you know, with only 3 left needed for LFO before they do, you know, line themselves up for a 1-0 lead, which is huge after coming through this lower bracket.
Oh, yeah.
But again, still won't start to call for concern too hard for Order. On this map, I am definitely. But the rest of the series, not just yet. We will have, obviously, the map selection of Order into the next.
So this is where we've got another purchase from everybody on the board. Of course, all of the kits are going to be there for the CTs and LFO. So no real bailout if you've got an equal equation potentially, unless you fancy yourselves and you don't have real utility. But you've got money for days to throw in. Order do not. It's going to be the 3 players for LFO over toward the B side. A little bit of the backwards progression in APOC into connector. Just holding, tucked in. Let's see if he can spot anything out. Hazard forced off divider already, and through the smoke finds Gyra. Getting away with a little bit of murder and mystery in this one. You still need to be careful to get out of this one. The flames, they're going to at least keep him in here.
He's definitely locked down. Not a great position to be in at all, unfortunately. And APOC's hungry. He wants more. Tux tries to get some util down. But
how is he alive?
Low. Yeah, no, Valiant's up top. Is he going to hit the shot? Savage is there to support him as well. This is just awkward. Very, very awkward. And Valiant has been taken down through the smoke as well. Yeah, Order. I am not super confident for them in this map at all. Goodbye, Ustillo. You have tried your darndest. And this should very well be 5 alive for LFO. Looking to work their way into 14 here. I mean, they've already pretty much guaranteed it. Tux has to pull off probably the most impressive round ever to get this done.
Yeah, because you're essentially thinking about map point, right? This is 14 for LFO. You get over towards 15, presumably with Order having an eco. I mean, they're going to be back onto towards like some semblance of the loss bonus, boosting up their money because of the last round. So they'll have a purchase here, actually, regardless. But this is the must convert one, right? You drop this, it's 15, and then you've got no money to really play with. So that's just the discussion. We'll be coming out with the plan of action right now for Order. I think presumably in this round, more importantly, don't even think about what you're going to be coming out with in the next round, because your focus has to be specifically on this one. If you've got any of that doubt in your head that this round isn't yours and you're thinking about the one afterwards, you know, you've got, this is your 3rd timeout. If you lose this one, just call another timeout after.
Rough position to be in, right? 7 consecutive rounds on that CT side, looking sharp, looking well oiled, only to end up where we are now, 14-8. And you know, people talking a little bit earlier about how, of course, this is a little bit more of a CT-sided map, but you know, nowhere near as crazy as some other maps in the pool. You know, you've got Nuke, you've got Vertigo, you've got Ancient. This one certainly starts to be a little bit more equal than others. And it's not looking like that at all right now. It's looking so dominant for LFO. And after such a big and hyped up victory, I guess, you know, with a incredibly improved Vertex.
Yeah.
Looking a bit worried, Old Order, as to what the whereabouts of the rest of this series could take them, I guess.
Indeed, indeed. Minute 20. Have a smoke, my friend. You got a little bit of time. Setting themselves up with a complete monster lockout, actually. I think one of them might have meant to go to the tunnel that Tux is in.
Very much a standstill here. Looks like Order grouping up nicely. As you mentioned, Tux still search and destroy out towards B. Sterling has up both members here already, ready to go. Yeah, they're just confident. You know, they can just line that positioning up nicely.
LFO aren't moving, Mitch. They're letting Order come to them, as I say that. LFO pushing through Monster Tunnel to try and get Tux, but everything's happening over the other side of the map. And now we switch to A, and we see if they can contain.
Let's see if Sterling's got something in it for us right now. He has been forced back towards the bank. APOC here, very low. Molly goes down. One tick will send him absolutely there. Sterling to open up with another, and somehow, some way, APOC makes it work. Back from the bank, Sterling still just chilling. Vexite, Gyra, got to make it happen. Jumping over the top of the truck, we'll gather some info, but now he's pinned, now he's poised. It's going to be a very tough one. Gyra flying on it to try and make it happen. There we go. The molly gets it done, but Sterling on the line gets the info away. Now he has to reposition. He's going up close, but Gyra, the man, the myth, the legend, who has been on top during the entirety of this map, does find the final, and that is Order still alive, just barely breathing.
Yeah, such a tight round as well, but the you know, the respect on Valiant's, on Vexite there to stick it in the molly, kind of had to at the moment, but to get away with 2 frags as well, you know, a slight little slip up on LFO's regard. Technically could have waited out the molly. They had a little bit of time to not give him a frag, but it is what it is. The round doesn't go their way, and Order, bit of a lifeline to keep LFO from finding 15 at the moment, reaching into their pockets for another purchase. They'll have another one in the next round if they do lose this as well. But Order, you got the Galil for Tux, no utility anymore for Tux and you Stillo. This has to be, you know, quite a crucial opening frag going Order's way in this round. And they might be given it if Sterling misses the AWP shot in connector. He's Stillo putting up, and Sterling's not putting up with what he's pushing down.
Doesn't miss those. Now Savage on the other side of Monster. This is where it's going to start to get a little bit hairy here, potentially for Order. Looks like he's very much ready for it, just on the other side of the smoke. He doesn't manage to find it though, but it isn't really going to matter when Licky's there to help you out.
And look where the bomb is as well.
Yeah, look, they're just so split. Order just don't seem to be playing as a team right now at all, really.
There's a lot of these high percentage plays for them, which if they work out, they're pretty much guaranteed, you know, a lot of space in toward a bomb site. And if they don't work out, it's, well, what do we do now? Kind of thing. And this is the current point that we're at. We've reached our hand into that hat and we've pulled out. What do we do? And the answer's probably safe, to be honest with you.
Yeah, certainly not something you sort of want to be into, right? You know, Valiant's tucking into the corner. Gyra having a bit of a cuddle. Yeah, very, very I guess, unfortunate situation to be found in. But look, again, you know, I won't get too hard into it. I won't start to sell the rest of this series away.
Yeah.
But after such a close series between LFO and Vertex, for LFO to be looking even stronger against Order. But with that said, you know, in the previous series, we did see a pretty solid victory on both of these teams' map choices. So with Vertigo around the corner, which is what we did see LFO fall by the wayside 16-7.
Yeah.
You definitely do have some hopes and dreams left remaining for Order. It was a little bit rough. You know, there was certainly some time to start believing. As they did manage to ultimately win out that half 8-7, but not have, you know, really much of a T side at all. One round is just not good enough on a map like Overpass.
I think in general, to be honest. Yeah, it certainly does help Order's, rather LFO's situation when you're finding both pistols and the subsequent rounds after it. This is the must-win duel for Vexite, and he's fluffed it as well. APOC not a single point in damage, and he is just holding W. Ustillo's trying to do so as well, to pick up the bomb and go in toward the B site. Monster action currently happening. A short water crunch as well. Any flash. 2v4 again. We're singing the same song once more. And the flank is already here from APOC. Now it's just Valiance. A 1v4 with an AWP. Mitch, this is looking dire, and hazr will be there to close it. We're coming towards us because that series, LFO, they come out of the gates flying. They settle down for a little bit in Order, start to get a bit of a comeback, but you switch it up at the half, Mitch. Where were Order, really?
Yeah, crazy strong CT side, right? You know, it felt like there was too much respect maybe being given by Order. They didn't look super well drilled.